Wall Street Memes Casino
I'm fine.
and Sportsbook.
This is KUGAN CASSIUS for IFLTV. Delighted. Why are you laughing already? Glad to be joined by Fabio Wardley. Heavyweight sensation Fabio Wardley.
Just nice to see your face, isn't it, mate? That's all.
What's happened up there? What's that? Someone's clipped you?
Fuck off.
What? Who's clipped you?
No one. It's just a scar, mate. I don't know if you witnessed my last fight. Something happened to my nose.
It was like 10 years ago.
Fucking hell, mate. I heal like an old lady. Nah, it's just fucking scarred over now, isn't it? So, little memory for me to hold on to. Keep that one.
Fair enough. Right. A little bit to dissect here. Let's talk about, first of all, you've signed with Frank Warren, which is kind of the worst, best kept secret going. And I think Frank actually announced it at the Nick Ball press conference.
He did.
He did. But we spoke about it before and about kind of your options, and you fought kind of on every promoter's card. But Frank Warren, what's going on at the moment, it seems to make sense for you to get those fights that you want outside of even Frazer Clarke. It seems like Frank Warren was the best choice for you, yeah?
Yeah, 100%. Frank's a man at the moment. Like in the game overall, but as well as especially for heavyweights as well. He's got a clear proven track record on how to manage heavyweights and all different scales as well, from Tyson Fury, Dubois, Joyce, the lot. So all different levels. So you know you're in safe hands with Frank if you're a heavyweight as well, because he knows how to guide you properly. But like you say, he's kind of running the game at the moment. A lot of, not if all of the big fights over the past 2 years have either been on QP shows or at least QP's had a heavy hand in. So yeah, it just made sense. It was just timing. I'd obviously been roaming around as a free agent for a while, doing my own thing, kind of making my own way with it. And as I move into that kind of world title area, we know that obviously the rematch is going to happen at the end of the year, and it's likely that post that the belts will fragment and stuff. So being with Frank will help me put myself in a prime position for a mandatory position, a eliminator, something like that.
I've got to ask, I don't know if you answer it, but was there counter offers from Boxer or from Matchroom to stop this process of Wardley going to Queensbury?
There was other offers from other areas, yeah, but I'm not going to delve into the details of who, what, when, and where's. But there was no stopping. It was just
I asked you about Boxer and Matchroom.
Yeah, I kept it vague for a reason, mate. But there was no one like really heavy on like, oh, don't do this, don't do that. I've been a free agent and able to speak to anyone and everyone for 2 years now, maybe 18 months. So it's not like I've snuck out of one deal and run to another. I've been free for ages, and I've been free to have chats with any and everyone for a long time. So the door's always been open to have conversations. It's not nothing new or kind of been done on the quick and on the sly. It's just timing. I thought this was the right time to do it.
You've had a lot of fights under Matchroom and Eddie Hearn, and I think we're in a situation now where whoever fights for which promotional company, it's not like it was like a year ago where it was like, oh, you know, they've got Wardley, etc., etc. It's like we know Eddie and Frank are working under Turkey, etc., and everything kind of seems to be on the same page. So if there is a fight or a fighter that makes sense for one promotional company, then I think the other promotional company kind of goes, okay, we would have liked that, but okay, that's happening. Great, we're still working together.
Yeah, look, the lines in the sand aren't as heavily drawn as they were before. Like, they're not as, no, you're a Matchroom fighter, you're a Queensbury fighter or Boxer fighter, whatever. You're only with your same outlet, your same promotion, and it's not all rigid if you're trying to fight outside that. It's boxing at the moment, especially UK boxing, is very fluid. Like, you're seeing boxers from all over fight on different promotions, different cards, not even on. I know Turkey's heavily involved, and that makes things a lot easier as well. But even outside of that, you're seeing it happen with other fighters and just mixing promotions and things. So this whole, and it's a lot of it is a big credit to Turkey, because before him it was quite a rigid scene. But everyone's kind of shook hands, sat down, had meetings, had chats, and you've done it 1, 2, 3, 4 times now. It's easy again to do it going forward.
Are you allowed to tell us how long your deal with Frank Warren is over, like fight-wise, or not? I don't know.
I can do if I wanted to, but I'm not gonna. No.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. How much you getting paid? How much you getting paid, mate?
Pack of Walker's Crips, maybe a pork scratchings if I win bonus.
Listen, we
Something
know
like that.
he's all right, so we know it ain't Walker's Crisps. Right, so the second part of this, obviously, finally, the much anticipated rematch between yourself and Frazer Clarke will take place on. It's a bit sad that it's on the undercard, but of a major fight of Beterbiev and Bivol. But the card itself is like we spoke about earlier. It's like stacked with names, etc. And I think outside of Beterbiev and Bivol, from a British interest, this is the one where everyone's like, "Whoa, okay, let's see what happens here." Was it difficult to get this kind of deal done to be on the card or not?
Not really, no. It wasn't a hard thing to do. I think me and Frazer both knew that after the last fight, we were only really going to fight each other again. We were weighing up different options and different dates and things, but it falling on the 12th seemed to be quite convenient for the both of us in terms of time frame and training and schedules and stuff. So it wasn't hard to make. We both, to be fair, both of us just sat back, didn't fuss, didn't do anything, and just let the people who run the things deal with it, sort all the details. And we just knew, like, I saw him maybe a month or so ago, a little while ago, and we said the same thing to each other. We said, look, just let the guys deal with it. We know what we want. We'll get there. Just keep training, stay in the gym, take over, and we'll get to where we need to get to. So we've got there all signed, sealed, and ticked off.
Do you feel like you're going to have to knock him out?
I don't feel like I have to knock him out. No, I can beat him on points if that's how it goes. Look, I made some game plan errors, and still I feel I won the fight. A lot of people feel I won the first fight as well. So even with me not performing the best, I still think I got the win. So look, there's some adjustments to be made to make it a lot cleaner, a lot nicer, and look a lot more crisp. And I can do all that. That's not a problem at all. But that's the fight overall. If you saw in the first fight that I got him down, that I hurt him a number of times as well. So I have the power and the capability to do that as well. So both are options for me. I think it's more so for him that getting me out of there isn't really an option for him. So points is kind of the only way to go.
There was rumours that this card was going to take place on its own. I don't expect you to make complete comment on this, but there was rumours that this card was going to happen at the end of this month, headline its own show, which we would have loved as Brits to kind of had that same fight night, which was amazing when you had your first fight. But there was rumours. Was it close, or was it there an option to have this at some point in the UK? You guys headlining the O2 or wherever again?
Yeah, it was an option. We were looking at all options. I was talking, obviously, me and the team were talking with Boxer about putting a show on. I was also talking to Queensbury about doing a show with them. Doing one in the UK, doing one in Saudi, and things like that. So there was a bunch of different options. It's just whatever came best for us, really, and how we thought it would work best. And it just ended up being Saudi in October.
So basically, who's paying you the most money?
Well, yeah. Ultimately, at the end of the day, we're here to get paid.
That's it.
Like, yeah. I'm not going through you watch the first fight. I'm not going through another one of those for nothing. So yeah, I'm here to get paid. But it's a mix. It's a mix of 6 of one and half a dozen of the other as well. Because like the UK show is great as well, but we've already done that. So the option to then take it to Saudi on a more of a global stage and make our names, especially with how I want to progress forward and how I want to move my career forward, putting myself on more of a global stage like a Saudi card and things like that, getting more eyes on us as the fight, then that makes sense as well.
Yeah, but as prize fighters, which you and Frazer are, you've got to go where the money is. Like,
I've got to fight for the prize, mate. Got to fight for the prize.
There's still people that don't grasp this concept of like you're not in it to like, all right, yeah, we had a sold out so and so, but we earned 50% less money. Like I'm not saying that's the case, as in terms of what the money is. I'm just saying like you've got to go where the money is. Like it's a no brainer. If
Yeah, but it makes sense. Or like even if we was to fight in the UK and say we'd have got more money to fight in Manchester than we did to fight in London, we'd have picked Manchester. It doesn't like it would have been the same thing. It wouldn't have really mattered. But it's just the way the game is. Ultimately, we're taking big risks. We're putting ourselves through a lot and camp expenses and training and looking after yourself and all of this. You're putting a lot on the line, and us as fighters and as boxers, we deserve to be compensated.
if you beat Frazer Clarke on August 12th, are you then
When?
in the mix? I've got to say, if you can say when. Are you then in the mix with the top 3 or 4 or not yet?
I think I'm just outside maybe top 3 or 4. I think once I beat him, I'm on the edge. I think I need another one to just shuffle me in. Maybe not a gatekeeper kind of esque person, maybe not, but like either someone in kind of similar contention to me, or a kind of gatekeeper esque person on the fringe as well. And then I'm there in the mix. I think because I'm ranked top 10 with all of the governing bodies. I think if maybe bar one. So I'm there or thereabouts, but you need to kind of put your name right at the front of the queue kind of thing. So yeah, we need to tick one more off maybe after Frazer and then we're there.
Bit of a random one. Do you think you beat Derek Chisora today?
Yeah, who knows? Like I love Derek. It's
No,
hard.
no, but
That's a
everyone
hard
loves
one for me
Derek.
because I love him and I have a lot of respect and appreciation for him. So, but as a competitor, yeah.
No, the reason I mentioned that is because obviously after Chisora's win over Joyce, everyone was kind of all these opponents, and Johnny Fisher got chucked into this mix. And Derek didn't call Fisher out. It's just the question of whether we know that fight, Chisora and Fisher, we know that sells the O2 out. It would do, right?
Yeah.
But I just wondered, like, there was a lot of names mentioned, and I was thinking, well, if Fisher's been mentioned, then why wouldn't Wardley be mentioned for like someone like Chisora? But I don't know. I kind of just throw it in there.
Well, maybe because I'm past something like that. Maybe it'd make more sense for me to fight someone who's, like I say, more in a kind of similar realm to I am, on the edge of being in that world level fringe kind of one of those kind of guys, more than. But in no way saying that Chisora is like a step down at all like that. But I'd get a lot more plaudits for fighting and beating someone who's maybe not necessarily undefeated, but like in that realm had 20 odd fights and won most of them or whatever, and is on the way to being a world level competitor. I'd probably get more credit and more respect for doing something like that.
So let me ask you a question. Prior to Joyce Chisora, if you fought Joyce or Chisora, do you think you would have got more credit for fighting which one?
Probably Joyce.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I'd probably say
It's
Joyce.
different, but I would have said you probably would have got more credit for beating Joyce. Yeah, at that point before their fight.
Yeah, I think he would have, because although Joyce has had the losses to Zhang and stuff, and Wyeth has come off the back of that, he's still a high level competitor. And again, not to take anything away from Derek at all, but he's in double figure losses now. So it just, the way it looks on paper and the way you weigh it up and stuff, it comes across differently when you're trying to give it to a public audience.
Yeah, no, yeah, I'll say that. Just lastly, obviously Aj-Dubois, September 21st. I mean, a lot of people I speak to are kind of saying the same thing about if Dubois was to take anywhere near the volume of punches that he took against Hrgovic, against AJ, that fight ain't going to last long. I mean, me, just as a neutral, like I think you can't write Daniel Dubois off at any point, but we know kind of AJ is kind of on mentally, physically, and in a run of form at the moment. How do you see this?
Yeah, look, that's an obvious analysis, isn't it? That if he gets tagged like that by AJ, then it's going to be a very quick night for him. But I think him and the team will have looked at that and made adjustments, or be looking to make those adjustments. So that's not such an obvious obvious point of attack. But I would give it to AJ at the moment. I think experience-wise, not to say Daniel hasn't been in the big leagues, but how long has AJ just been at the top of the tree for, really, in these massive fights, massive occasions? And Wembley at home, 80,000 people, it's going to be a massive event in the build-up. So being able to manage those situations and manage yourself through the moments and stuff where it gets a bit sticky, I just think AJ might be a bit more composed in those moments in the fight.
Do you think you beat Dubois now?
Who knows? We'll see.
I can't wait till you're thrusted into the absolute end.
Oh, I love it, mate. I love it. I can't wait.
wait.
I'm not over at QP for no reason, mate.
No,
That's where all the big boys at.
I know you're very clever. You're not clever inside the ring as well as you are outside the ring as well. You've poured yourself out to every promoter, right? Collected whatever's in your bank account. Fair play to you. No, listen, fair play to you. All right, well, we've got a few weeks yet. I'm sure you'll be at Aj-Dubois. Probably next time I'll see you there. So
I'll be there.
Good luck in the rest of your camp. Everyone's very happy that that's the fight on the card that everyone's looking at, going from a Brit perspective, going right, that's finally on the card and that's finally done. So yeah.
Look, ultimately the fans get the fight they wanted. There's no. I know they might be a bit upset or a bit annoyed that it's not in the UK, that they're not able to attend, and I get it. Well, technically they are able to attend. It may cost you a bit extra and whatever, and flights and that, but you can still go. But I get it's not on home soil and things. I can understand them frustrations, but ultimately, everyone should be happy they're getting the fight.
Absolutely. Okay, Fabio, have you got anything else you'd like to add or not?
No, mate. That's not. I was going to stitch you up, but I'll leave you alone. Don't worry, mate.
No.
No, go on.
Appreciate your time at 7:38 on a Thursday evening.
Don't worry, mate. Don't worry, mate. Only. You were the madman last night. Asked me for interviews at 10:30, 11 at night. I'm tucked up in bed, mate. I know what you're on about.
I was watching EastEnders last night, yeah, and I texted you, and I thought if he was up,
I didn't realise it was still 2005. Fucking hell.
No, big EastEnders fan. Don't know EastEnders.
Nutter.
But yeah, I thought if he's up for it now, which you could have been. I interviewed you when I did my podcast at like 1 in the morning. Do you remember?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, it was on a fight week. But I make sure I sleep late on a fight week because I fight late, so I'd stay awake longer. But I do remember that.
That's fair enough.
Things I do for you, eh?
Much appreciated. And don't forget, I interviewed you in your second fight.
Yeah, you didn't want to though, so don't make it out like you was a good Samaritan because you couldn't be asked.
Don't
make out. Yeah,
told me to do it. Yeah.
Hey, he told you to do it. You didn't want to. You looked at me like, "Fuck's sake, who's this geezer I've never heard of? Come on, then, come sit down." You didn't even. I don't think you even asked me any questions about me. I think you asked me about AJ and Tyson Fury or something, just to get your little clickbaity title thing. You weren't even bothered about me.
Don't be a prick and don't ruin it. Don't ruin it. We had a good interview. Don't ruin it. I was there. Either way.
Either way. Yeah, cheers, mate. Thanks. Much appreciated.
Before your second fight, you just said your first fight.
That's all right. I said, I just don't ruin it. Don't ruin it. I said, all right, thanks. Don't ruin it.
Listen, I'll see you next month. Best of luck in camp, and we'll look forward to October the 12th in Riyadh. It's going to be some night.
Yeah, it's going to be class, mate. Love it. Go, mate.
All right, mate.
All right, boy. Cheers, boy. Catch you in a bit.
Thank you, mate.
Wall Street Memes Casino
I'm fine.
and Sportsbook.